Hello everyone, this is Adam Stewart from stewartmedicine.com. I'd like to show you an updated preventative care toolbar and toolkit that I've made for the TELUS EMR PS Suite. Um, Part of this is an evolution of some great work by East Wellington Family Health Team, Kevin Sampson, physician there, and John Swekla, TELUS Health programmer. They created a great preventative care toolbar and toolkit that's available on the TELUS portal. I'd urge you to take a look at that on the TELUS portal. Just search for East Wellington Family Health Team in the chatter group. I was using that for a little bit and experimenting with it, but personally I like something that was a little simpler. Theirs is very comprehensive. It has some great color coding, red, yellow, green, to tell when things are due. But I found that you had to click into one menu and then click into another menu to get deeper down into the options. Whereas I was just looking for something that's simple and rather one or two steps, one click for helping the flow of all the preventative care reports that come in: stool tests, colonoscopies, bone density tests, mammograms, etc. So I took kind of some of the ideas from their toolbar and ideas that I had floating around in my head. And here's what I came up with. One, so this is a fake patient chart. And you'll see this is a 67-year-old female. And there's this preventative care toolbar. Now, I've made separate toolbars for each of the male, female, and age categories. So a 50 to 64-year-old female will have its own toolbar, which doesn't include the bone density testing, whereas this patient is 65 or over, so they have the bone mineral density one. Similarly, for a young female in their ages of 21 to 49, we'll have a toolbar that looks like this, but we'll just have the pap smear information there. So what you can see right off the bat is that some of the information is blank: stool tests and colonoscopies. So there's no information that's been done in the chart. And we see the corresponding reminder up here to update either the colonoscopy or a stool test. Some of the, and mammogram as well, corresponding reminder, and we can see the mammogram. Now, some of the information we can see, say, a bone density test that's showing us the date of the last one, as well as I like to always know not just the date, but the result and how frequently it needs to be done. So here we see date, and in brackets I've got low/5 year. Now that is automatically pulling in from the chart, and I'll show you that in a second where that's coming in. Well, let's just go there now. So here is a preventative care summary that's collapsed, but if we click to expand it, we see that here's this summary that you're going to see a lot of in this video. The different areas of preventative care, whether it's due or not. The reminder, if it is due, will show up and it will be in red. If it's not due, it will be blank. The date of most recent, the result of the most recent one, and the frequency, and then any notes that you might want to see relevant to it. So, for example, history of ascus or LSIL or something like that in here. I like to document whether or not they've ever had a history of abnormal. So for that, right here we're seeing the bone density test, which is pulling in from this fake density test up here, June 1st. So June 2nd, this custom form was entered, and it's showing the date. And I had gone in there and said low risk, as well as entered in an editable five year. So that's where this is pulling this in. Similarly, if we go up here to the one that was done earlier in 2016, when the pap smear came in, it was pulling in dates from the recent pap smears, and I had gone in and edited these, and then it's pulling in up here pap smears, both the lab and the PDF versions if applicable, as well as the negative/3 year. So let's say that we got a new mammogram report in. Let's just pretend, so I'm just going to enter in a fake report. So let's pretend this was in the summer, June 1st of this year. and mammogram. So we're going to say fake report mammogram normal, and we'll put that in. So let's pretend I'm back to that June of 2017, and I'm seeing this report come in. You can see that the reminder just disappeared because now the system knows there's a mammogram in there. So what happens is, let's say, oh, I'm seeing that report. I press this preventative care button, and that automatically inserts this new summary form. Now we can see here that the reminder has gone away. There's the date. Now we've never entered in any of these dates before, but we can. So I'm going to enter in that it's a standard 2-year, or if it's a 1 year, let's say a family history or a breast cancer, you could change that to a 1. Oh, sorry, the 1 goes, the 2 goes here, and the result here is negative. And so I've put that in here. Now you can see as well the important. This is automatically still bringing in the previous Pap smear results, negative in 3 years, and all of these things are automatically updating or bringing in from the last one. So if I'm getting a quick report on the next mammogram, if the 2 year isn't changing, it can be very quick in terms of me just saying, yep, the date, or pressing this, importing a new chart, confirming the date, and so forth. This data is then all searchable and being able to create reminders off of the frequency, for example, who's a 1 year versus a 2 year mammogram. So I'm just going to fictionally go back and change this date to June, so that it kind of lines up where the fake report was. So now let's say that a patient had an occult blood test come in. Let's say it came in and it was in August of this year. So fake lab, just going to quickly occult. So we're putting that in, and let's say it was negative. So what's going to happen is it's putting in a fictional stool test. The reminder went away now because there's a stool test within the last year. And if I wanted to, I could have done another report back in August. Let's just change this and pretend it was August the 2nd, the next day. And now I'm seeing that the stool test is in there, and nothing is due at all at this point. I can say negative here. Still, they've never had a colonoscopy, but they've done the stool test. 2 years is the standard, and sometimes in my practice, I've aimed for 1 year for a number of reasons. One, it's not a great test to begin with. The 1 year can be a little bit more accurate, but more practically speaking, if I aim for 1 year, it usually ends up being about 1.5 years or more, whereas if I aim for 2 years, that ends up being 2.5 to 3 years. And my health quality Ontario stats have shown that my stool testing is far above the average. So let's say that now, today, we've just learned that this patient has a family history of colon cancer. So let's say mother got diagnosed at 80 or 85. Now, what that tells me is that now this patient now needs not just a stool test, but she needs a colonoscopy every 5 years. So if I find that out today, what I would do is I would press this button to update their preventative care tracking, and I would say that, wait, this person they've never had a colonoscopy, but they need a frequency of 5 years. And why? I'll just put family history, colon-CA. Now, just to show you something, let's pretend I'm going to move that back a day. Because now I'm going to show you, if I actually import a new form, it's going to carry this forward. So not only that, it's showing you the 5 year actually carried forward, and it's actually updating the reminder that's saying that because we know that it's a 5 year colonoscopy and they've never had one done, this is now flagging red. And see how automated and easy that was? And plus this family history just keeps carrying forward. This box of rationale keeps carrying forward unless you want to change it. So I'm just going to delete that and show you. If I refresh the chart, we should see, yeah, colonoscopy due, because it's picking up now that there's a complicated reminder in there that's set up to say for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year, and 10 year whether the corresponding colonoscopy is due. So from this, I'm seeing that I need to order a colonoscopy. And so what I picture this going is, once you get it rolling, every time you get say a new mammogram comes in, well, I click that in and I can see the mammogram would have, this would show a new updated date, and it's 2 years, and everything just flows. So we're talking about managing and trackable preventative care, even with changing the frequency that they are due, all fairly easily. Not only this, but all this data is now showing up readily for our eyes to see up in the toolbar. A few other notes about the toolbar. These here are filters. So FOB filters out the word occult. So I just see occult bloods. Colonoscopy filters out just the words colonoscopy. Pap smear filters out the word pap. That's not that specific. But if you want to say the lab version actually filters out the word transformation for transformation zone, or the PDF will filter out just the pap test reports. Mammogram filters out the word mammogram, and bone densitometry, or bone BMD filters out bone densitometry. So you're filtering out just those relevant reports. Similarly, this here summaries button just gives a summary of, it's a filter that just shows notes containing this preventive care summary, which are all the prevention custom forms that have been in there. And then off to the side, I've got a little quick Q150 code for fast billing of the Q150. This will error because the patient. Let's see here. The last one is a quick stamps for giving stool test recs and the requisitions. So I hope you find that useful. Again, the beauty of this is that all of these searches, it's all very seamless. One click can be continually upgraded on a dynamic basis, and then all of your searches and reminders and reminder reports can easily be filtered off these, all the while including people who are due for tests at different intervals, custom intervals. Hope you find that helpful. Thanks for watching.